You're watching Bloomberg UTV.
Hello and welcome to Financial Planner, the show where we take complex financial concepts and break them down into easy digestible bits. My name is Smriti Rao. Now, if you're in your 20s or your 30s, then health insurance is probably the last thing you're thinking about when you get your salary. You're probably covered by your employer and you think that's enough. But what happens when something horrible like an accident happens or you get a debilitating disease that leaves you weak and unable to work? It's a scenario no one thinks about, but more often than not, it has happened to at least one of us or someone we know. On today's show, we'll talk about a few simple steps you can take to protect yourself and your family, and you can take those steps with health insurance. Sumit Vaid has some ideas. Sumit is a certified financial planner. He's also a regular on this show. You can email us your questions or queries at financialplanner@utvmoney.com. You can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Smriti Rao. Sumit, welcome. So let's get started with the query. And this is all on health insurance. So this is Abhay who writes in from Ludhiana. And Abhay has a question that a lot of young couples normally ask us, which is he and his wife, they've been working for 5 years. In this time, they've both been covered by their employer's insurance. So Abhay wants to know, is that enough? And does he need any extra insurance? So Abhay has life and health insurance, and his wife has life and health insurance. So is that enough?
Smriti, first of all, thanks a lot for getting me on this show, and I've been missing the show for some time. I think Diwali was in between and we were in Chutti, but really missed the show.
It's been a long break.
It's been a long break, and it's good to be back here among you and the viewers. Health insurance, in fact, all kind of insurances are must for an average family.
Right.
Many a time when we are sitting with our clients, we get to hear stuff like this: why should I need insurance? I don't have enough money. Why should I need insurance? I don't have enough dependents. Why should I need insurance? I have some of the houses which can be sold and people can manage to buy it.
Right.
In my past, my father, mother never had insurance and they never required one. So should it be required and all? So once and for all, I think every family needs to be insured. They need to be insured for adequate life insurance and adequate medical insurance.
But how do you decide, or how do you come to a conclusion as that much is enough or this much is enough? So how do you come? Is there like a formula you need to work out with your age and the dependents that you have?
Sure, there is a science behind this, and that's where I always recommend on this show that every family should have a financial planner, a certified financial planner, who can really help them in this process.
Right.
But as a thumb rule, if I have to just start up, there is a concept known as human life value. So life insurance should be adequate for a family that if the main bread earner dies because of some reason, whatever income that bread earner is getting into family should be able to get subsidized by the life insurance amount. So let's give you an example. If the income, or let's say an expense of a family on a monthly basis is 50,000 rupees for leading their normal life, and they need to decide how much insurance they need, then that insurance amount should be sufficient that if it is put in bank and it earns some kind of interest on the fixed deposit, it should be equivalent to 50,000 rupees a month. So let's assume if the bank interest rate on the fixed deposit was 6%, then you need 2 crore rupees lying in your bank generating 50,000 rupees a month.
Right. Okay, that makes complete sense. So you're saying that don't randomly get some insurance without knowing how much you need, but it is possible to calculate the exact amount that you would need, and you can go forward and get that cover.
That's right.
Talk to us about, do we need both? Do we need both life and health insurance? And you talked to us about, you told us about how you can calculate the amount of cover that you need. But what about health insurance? What does that cover?
No, health insurance is a must. If you really see, we did a survey at the Freedom Financial Planner, and we came to a conclusion that health inflation, that is cost of getting bypass done in major cities, is in excess of 20% year on year. Now that means almost we have reached the stage like Western economies where if you have to get hospitalized, the only way you will be able to fulfill the bill is through health insurance.
If you have insurance.
That's
if you
right.
don't have insurance, you're going to be bankrupt.
You can't even afford to get into a hospital.
Right.
So it's a dangerous situation. Now, given that in account, you need again to figure out how much is an adequate health insurance. And I'm emphasizing the word adequate. Even in life insurance, I said adequate life insurance, and health insurance, I'm saying adequate health insurance. Because what we see, or what we are seeing when we sit with our client families at Freedom, I think majority of Indians do not have adequate
health
insurance, either which is life or health. They don't have adequate insurance.
The other thing is that when most of us get employers insurance, most of us don't actually check and see how much insurance we have and whether that's adequate or not. And you said that you must have adequate insurance. One quick word on accident insurance. Do I need that? And can it be clubbed with health insurance? Is it part of health insurance? How does that work?
I think one needs to figure it out. Accident is kind of an event which can be, impactful to the family by impacting income temporarily. So because of an accident, that's right.
Yeah.
So you need not only to figure out accidental insurance from the point of view of medical aspect of that accident impact, but also what if I'm not able to go and work for some period of time and there will be loss of income. So there are products available in market which can take care of both such situations. Again, you need to have adequate insurance taken care of. Do not think that credit card bundled accident insurance is enough for you. It cannot come for free. It is an important aspect. You need to get adequate insurance because that's for basic peaceful living.
All right, basic peaceful living. Quick question, Sumit. What if I don't like the company that I have insurance with? Is it easy to switch? Should I switch? Would you advise your clients to switch? How does that work?
Okay, before I answer this question, I want you to understand what is the underlying insurance all about. Insurance is an agreement or a contract between, insurer and insuree, the guy who's getting insured and the company which is insuring him.
Sure.
And that certain agreement has terms and conditions, which in insurance language is known as wordings. So whenever you get into insurance agreement with any insurance company, please make sure you go through the wordings.
Okay.
If you like the wordings, and if the insurance company is giving you good service, then there is no reason for you to change it very often.
Okay.
Because changing it often results in your risk profile within a company getting impacted in a reverse way.
Okay.
It can potentially impact your claim settlement in future if required, because insurance companies' basic business is not to give you claims.
Yeah, it is to make money.
It is to balance between giving rightful claims and also for generating profit. But the way business model works is they'll always figure out which are the pinpoint areas which are wrongly filled or information being withheld, which can impact your claim settlement in future itself. So once you understand what is the underlying insurance structure like, it's an agreement, it's a legal structure, you understand wordings. Once you get into it, don't change too often. If you have to change, it might be because of the costing, because we are seeing insurance prices are really coming up drastically, especially in life insurance. Term insurance every year is becoming cheaper and cheaper, and if it is a huge impact, sit with your financial planner, discuss, and keep changing it till the time it is a material impact.
Okay.
But try and avoid changing it too often.
Don't change it too often over there. Now we have a couple of more queries to go through. When we come back, we'll talk about an NRI who has insurance over here in India. He wants to know whether he should keep it or get rid of it. Plus the big question is, if you have an illness, should you be telling your health insurer? We'll tell you about that, and we'll find out what Sumit has to say about that right after this. Welcome back. You're watching Financial Planner with me, Smriti Rao. I'm in conversation with Certified Financial Planner Sumit Vaid, and we're talking about a couple of questions that people have written in about health insurance. It's pretty simple. It's also incredibly important that all of you have health insurance. If you have a query, it's an email. Ali writes in to us from Dubai. He says he took up an insurance policy in India, but now he lives in Dubai. When he took the policy, he was a non-smoker, but now he started smoking. He's also contracted diabetes. He wants to know two things. One, should he continue with his current policy? And two, should he tell the company about his current health situation, and how will that affect his policy and his premiums? So that's the email over there from Ali. Sumit, what would you tell him? So let's start it, looking at it from the NRI perspective. What should he do with his insurance? Should he keep it? Should he get rid of it?
So he took his insurance when he was in India?
When he was in India, and now he's living in Dubai.
Okay, now first thing first, which you need to figure it out with this insurance company is that will this policy be applicable in Dubai?
Right.
Most probably I think it will not be.
It won't be?
It won't be, because it has to be specified, and most time insurance contracts are within the jurisdiction of one country, because eventually it's about certain laws to be followed about there itself. So my sense is most probably, he still needs to check up, might be available. So once he is clear about that if it's not applicable in Dubai, then he need to figure it out. And my suggestion, with his kind of health conditions, he should take one more fresh in Dubai, which is applicable in that country.
Right, because he's covered over there in that country.
That's right.
I want to finish with Ali's case first, but just a quick question on people who live abroad, in the sense that they're traveling abroad, or maybe they spend 8 months abroad.
Sure.
Do you think it makes sense for them to hold on to Indian policies, or should they just get rid of it and let's say someone's going to America and lives in America because their parents live there or son and daughter live there, so they go and spend time there. Should you think they should hold on to it, get a new American health insurance cover, or should you hold on to your Indian cover?
I think my suggestion will be to hold on to, or rather than hold on, buy a specific new cover in that country.
Right.
Because the challenge will be, even if you hold on to Indian insurance and you try and justify it by saying that for treatment I'll travel to India because
Right.
Indian medical cost is much lesser. I think challenge will be in terms of settling the claim. Because what insurance companies will go and ask you will be, where did you contacted this problem, and they need to have some medical background which they'll not be able to figure it out till the time they get very clear perspective whether you contacted the disease after buying the insurance or pre-insurance. It's a problem area, it's a gray area. There'll be no clear-cut written rules avoidable. Do not get into this mess and take it separately, because if something has to happen, it will not happen after announcing it. That you need to just take care of it.
You just need to be prepared for anything. So if you're in a different country, make sure you have separate insurance.
Yes.
And then this gentleman over there saying he's a smoker, has diabetes. Should he reveal this to his company? How is that going to impact his policy and his premiums? Is it a good idea to tell your company, look, I'm suffering from this disease?
Okay, now there are pre-existing illnesses and there are post the policy, the illnesses come.
Yeah.
Now, pre-existing, everything should be told transparently to the insurance company, because insurance company is insuring you at that particular day onwards for that particular condition onwards.
Right.
So it's not at all right on your behalf to hide up any information.
Okay.
And I am again repeating on television to all my viewers, telling them that if you do not give complete information, then chances of your claim not getting settled are very, very, very high.
Right.
If insurance companies come to know that you had a blood pressure problem but you never disclosed it, your claim is not going to get passed.
So be open and transparent with the insurer. That's
so there is no shortcut to getting a cheap insurance. There is no shortcut for holding back information and thinking I'll be able to really be a smart customer here. I'll be able to fool the insurance company. Never happens that way.
Okay.
Please disclose all the information. So that is pre-existing illnesses. The second is the post-existing. Let's say you started smoking after
getting the
policy, and there again there is a ground of ethics. And there is a ground of a grey area which doesn't get specified. Ethics says tell it to insurance companies.
Okay.
It will be better for you to really go and settle your claim over a period of time. Why it will be better? Because you are being perceived as a life which was very transparent, where they were able to determine what kind of a risk that life had, and they were able to reciprocate it back in a sense itself. And a second point I raised was saying that it's a grey area. Grey area, it's not written. It's not written anywhere that if you start smoking, please come back and tell it to us, of trying to figure it out. So it's slightly a grey area. I think you should consult your financial planner or an insurance consultant. He'll guide you, but be transparent and upfront with all information you have to give to insurance companies.
All right, on that note, let's slip into a short break. When we come back, a couple of key terms that you must know when you're talking about health insurance. We'll run through those terms with Sumit after this.